Hey, it's Matt Karamazov. Welcome back to the channel. So a really short video today, at least I think. I mean, how should I know? I'm just recording it right now. But the video is an answer to a question I see a lot of people asking. It is, how does somebody read 52 books in a single year? And I'm uniquely qualified to answer this. I've done it several times. Last year I read 179. The year before that was 137. Even this year, it's May 18th. I lose track all the time. But already I'm up over 52. I'm at like 66 or 68 or something like that. So I've done it. I have the answer. The answer is in today's video, and we're starting right now. So if a friend of mine were to come to me, and basically any subscriber to this channel is a friend of mine, if they were to come to me and ask, how do I read 52 books in a single year? This is the answer that I would give them. But first, I wanted to tell you, and this would probably annoy most of my friends because I say stuff like this all the time, but it's true and it's important and I stand by it. You know, by all means, set goals. Set big, stupidly huge, massive goals. I have one to own part of a space company, read 10,000 books, and live on 1% of my income. I'm no stranger to ridiculously huge goals. That being said, you'll find that the arriving isn't all that important. It's all about who you become on the way. Like, I would much rather you read, 5 or 10 books that, completely change the way you see everything, that are like an Instagram filter for your entire life. Now it's just like completely different before and after, than have you read, have you succeed at like 52 books a year and then not have that change you at all. That would be a waste of a year, to be quite honest. Then they'd probably say, yes, I know that you'd love me even if I've never achieved anything, that all I have to do is exist in order to be worthy of unconditional positive regard. Yes, that's all fine and great, but I really want to read 52 books this year. What can you, what's your advice? This is what I would tell them. I would say schedule it. If that goal of reading 52 books in a single year is important to you, what you have to do is put that in your schedule first and then schedule everything else around it. It's not just gonna happen because you sorta kind of want it to happen. You have to make it happen. You have to will it to happen. You have to organize your entire life around achieving this particular goal. And you may have other goals alongside it, but basically anything that you're trying to achieve, it has to be your, like the thing that you're going towards. Everything, you're pulling yourself towards that one goal, and you make everything, you adjust your entire schedule. Like if it's not in your schedule, it's probably not going to happen. And you adjust your entire life in order to make it more likely that you're going to achieve that goal. And I say all the time, the biggest secret, non-secret of reading more books is to just spend more time reading. It's so simple and so plain and so obvious. Now, of course, there are plenty of other things you can do to make reading 52 books in 52 weeks much more likely for you as a result. And I'll mention a few of them before we're finished with this video. But my best tip really is making it part of your schedule and just making sure it's in there, and you keep that appointment with yourself because it's important. I'm serious, like you're doing something really important and good for yourself, and that's going to ripple outwards to other people as well, that other people are going to benefit from the time that you spend reading these great books. So never ever feel guilty about doing that. As for some of the other things you can do, your choices of books definitely matters. So most people are not going to have time to read 700-page books every single week, and the good news here is you don't have to. There are literally thousands of worthwhile, incredible books that are fewer than 200 pages, fewer than 300 pages. And if you split that up over 7 days, you're reading fewer than 50 pages a day, which is not insurmountable for most people. And my last little mini tip here is to think about reading more than one book at once. Not at the same time, obviously, that could get a little bit difficult. But what I mean is think about reading more than one book simultaneously. Always have 2 or more books on the go. And there are a few reasons why you would want to do this. One reason is boredom, of course, but if you're choosing the right books for you, then you're not going to get bored. What I mean instead is sort of, sometimes you just don't feel like reading a particular book at a certain time. I have tons of times when I'm reading like 2 or more books, and I'm looking at one book that I have on the go, and I don't feel like reading that particular book at this time. It could be, a poetry book when I'm just not in the mood for poetry. And another idea is to have different books on the go in different formats. So if it's not practical for you to take a physical book with you somewhere, then you can have like an audiobook or an ebook or something that you can get away with. So I'll cut the video off right here. I just intended to make a really short one with my best tip on how to read 52 books in a single year. If you want to continue the conversation, I'm on Instagram and Twitter and all those other drugs. And for every new subscriber to the channel, what I do is I donate $1 to the children's charity First Book, and what they do is they give books to children who otherwise wouldn't be able to read them or afford them. So I like to do that, and I support Doctors Without Borders, of course. All that nonsense going on in Gaza, they need all our support. And my fundraising page for Doctors Without Borders is down in the description, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. And of course, I'll leave you with the words of Frederick Douglass. He was a former slave who taught himself how to read. He became one of the best writers ever, basically. And what he said is that once you learn to read, you will be forever free. So go read a book, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.
I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, locking